This is YG TV and the YG Stage, powered by Circle Electric and sponsored by Fleet Farm, Health Payment Systems, and Bell Bank Mortgage. I'm your host, Andy Weins, president of Greenup Solutions, here on set at Serendipity Labs. On YG Stage, powered by Circle Electric, we feature CEOs, thought leaders who inspire, influence, and break the rules of business. Today, we welcome Sondaya Weddle, who recently started her own cosmetics business. We'll meet Sondaya right after a short break. Circle Electric is a 35-year-old commercial, industrial, and healthcare electrical contractor with engineers and designers on staff, backed by the most technical and well-trained master and journeyman electricians. Whether it's an equipment move, new building, or commercial remodel, from pre-construction all the way through startup, primary power, branch power, or low-voltage systems, we're here to support you. Our 24/7 on-call service department is here to meet your electrical needs for our industrial and healthcare customers. You always hear safety first. We are safety always. Circle Electric will maintain electrical reliability for business continuity.
Fleet Farm has everything you need for every season of life. From tending the vegetable garden season to planting 100 acres of crops season. Fleet Farm is your one-stop shop. Whether it's strawberry jam season, cook your walleye season, or his first set of wheels season. Fleet Farm is built for every season. Fleet Farm, built for real life.
For more than 80% of families, today's medical billing practices are confusing. At HPS, our goal is to improve the healthcare experience for the patient by making medical bill payments less stressful. In Wisconsin, that's all made possible by our comprehensive independent healthcare provider network. We simplify billing and lower costs for everyone involved in healthcare and offer various ways for individuals to pay without breaking the bank.
Let's welcome Sondaya to the stage. How are you today?
I'm doing good.
Excellent, excellent. All right, so what are we talking about today?
Well, today I'll be sharing how to go into entrepreneurship, how to take those steps, and what that really entails before deciding to be the entrepreneur.
All right, why is it so relevant to you?
Well, I started entrepreneurship young. I'm only 26. Mm-hmm. I've been doing it for about 2-3 years on my own. Granted, me and my mom are partners, but doing it yourself and really taking that step, it was hard for me at first. But what I've learned along the way, I want to be able to share with others, because I know there's other young people like me, women and men, that want to get into it, and they just don't know how to get started.
All right, excellent. Well, I'm looking forward to hearing what you have to say. I know the audience is. The stage is yours.
Thank you. Well, hello, everyone. Again, as he said, my name is Sondaya Weddle, and I'm an entrepreneur. I like to start off with that, which, I said already, but I want to say it again. Besides being an entrepreneur, I'm also a motivational speaker. I'm an author. My mom and I wrote a book, Successful Ways to Entrepreneurship and Obtaining Wealth. I like to throw in I'm an influencer, not because I have this huge following, but because I believe each and every day we're able to inspire or influence someone in a positive way. And then lastly, I'm a mom. So with all that being said, that's just the highlights about who I am and how I feel like I'll be able to share tips on how to get started into entrepreneurship. Before I give these tips, I first want to start off by saying a little background story of me. How did I get started? I know I grew up in entrepreneurship. That sounds a little weird, but my mom has always been a serial entrepreneur. She's had multiple businesses. I've been working since, honestly, the age of 9, going to meetings, carrying briefcases, and just being dipped in business. But even though it was always around me, that doesn't necessarily mean that I knew how to get started or I was ready to get started. Fast forward into being an adult, I found myself young in college, married. A young marriage started it left me, how can I say it, in a very terrible place in life. I was depressed, I suffered from anxiety, I was very suicidal. I was in a place in life where I questioned, this can't be it. There has to be more to what I'm living. I have to want more. At that moment in time, I didn't know how to want more until I became a mom. I know this may sound cliche, but my son truly was the best thing that ever happened to me. I looked at him and I knew that I didn't just want more for me anymore. I wanted more for my son. So as I said earlier, I was surrounded by business. My mom poured so much into me about being an entrepreneur. What does that mean? Starting a business. So I had the tools in me. I just didn't know how to get them out. After looking at my child's face and seeing that I can effectively tell my son that he needs to go after his dreams. He needs to aspire to be more. He needs to continue to move forward if his own mom isn't doing that. So I had a conversation with my mom, who's also my best friend and a mentor and partner and so much more. But I had this conversation with her and I told her I was ready. I knew that I couldn't just sit around anymore. I couldn't just be complacent in this life that I was living, being stuck, living paycheck to paycheck. Because at this time, I was a single mom. I got free and I knew I had to go for more. So I had that conversation with my mom and she told me it was time. She encouraged me and I already had experience in childcare. One of the businesses that my mom had when I was growing up was a daycare. So with that being said, I had my classes, I had everything I needed to go into owning a daycare. So for me, that was the first business I knew I was gonna go into, childcare. I went into childcare with the premonition that I'm doing this because I knew what my passion was. I am passionate about cosmetics. DayaLuv Cosmetics is my passion. I knew from a freshman in high school that one day I'm gonna own my own cosmetic company. I said this to myself, I said this to my mom, I said this to my friends. Anyone who knew me way back in old high school days knew that I was passionate about cosmetics. So I'm opening this business because I knew that it was gonna take me to the next step of being able to go into my passion. In 2019, I started a daycare center. In May of 2020, I launched DayaLuv Cosmetics. In that time frame, I researched. Me and the internet we were like this, we were best friends. I did everything I needed to do to prepare myself to go into what I was passionate about. Now, I have to stress that for those that are listening and watching, before you just jump into anything, do your research. I work with many entrepreneurs, helping them get started. And the one thing that I stress to them is research, study what you're about to go into, know what you're about to go into. It is so important. But besides doing your research, before you take that step into entrepreneurship, you need to identify two things. One, what are you passionate about? What is your passion? And two, what is your purpose? For me, I identified that. Even going into childcare, granted, I love kids, but it wasn't my passion. My passion was cosmetics. And my purpose for me was being able to encourage, motivate, and inspire others. See, I didn't just go into cosmetics because I love makeup. Granted, I do. I've been watching my mom do her makeup since I was a very little girl. But I went into cosmetics because I have a story. See, I gave you guys a little, a little sprinkle of my background. But that background, that story It inspires me and pushes me to be able to help other women and men that shop with DayaLuv Cosmetics. Our goal is to be able to enhance your true beauty. And with that, I do that in every product that I launch, every company that I partner up with, because for me, it's not just a lash, it's not just gloss. It's more than that. I'm able to help someone else with the cosmetics I produce. So I identified those two things before I went into entrepreneurship, the first time and the second time. And I want to stress how important it is, because if you don't identify your passion and then ultimately your purpose, you're going to go into entrepreneurship for all the wrong reasons. In this day and age, entrepreneurship online, it looks like a breeze. You can go to someone's timeline and you will think, hey, entrepreneurship is idea, launch, and I'm an overnight millionaire. Reality is, that's not what it is. That's not how it happens. Entrepreneurship it's hard. It is long nights. It's feeling like, am I doing enough? Am I cut out for this? It's second guessing everything you do and why you do it. Entrepreneurship is making sacrifices. Entrepreneurship is investing not only your time, but your money to make what it is you're passionate about successful. Entrepreneurship is maybe selling thousands one month and the next selling 0. That's what entrepreneurship is. And if you don't go into it for all the right reasons, if you don't go into it knowing, hey, this is what I'm passionate about, and this is why I'm passionate about your purpose, you're going to just go into it thinking, oh, I'm going to be an overnight success. Oh, it's super easy. And when entrepreneurship doesn't look like what you thought it will look like, you'll give up. You'll throw in the towel. That month it doesn't go your way, oh, I'm done. That moment you don't get that instant gratification, you give up. So that's why it's so important to identify those two things. And here's another thing that I feel like many people don't really stress the most. Not everyone is meant to be an employer. Some people are just meant to be an employee. I know, that's the hard truth. Not everyone's gonna tell that to you, but it's factual. There's a difference between an employer and an employee, and that difference is the characteristics. So, after you identify your passion and your purpose, you next need to reevaluate yourself. Ask yourself those hard questions. Am I cut out for this? Do I have the characteristics to be an entrepreneur? You can't be the boss and be lazy. You can't be the boss and you're always running late. You can't be the boss and you don't know how to lead, guide, or even speak to people. Entrepreneurship requires you to reevaluate who you are before you get into trying to lead someone else. Now, I'm not going to say if you follow me, but I will say it. If you follow me on any of my platforms, you know that I'm always super transparent. As an entrepreneurship, I battle two things. I reevaluated myself, so I'll be honest with you guys. I suffer from depression and anxiety. There are days when I feel like doing absolutely nothing. There are days when I second guess everything I'm doing and I'm like, is this what I'm supposed to be doing? And am I meant for this? But on those days, because I took the time to do the stuff that I'm keep reiterating to you, I know how to push past it. I know how to keep moving forward. I know how to allow myself to, one, have that bad day, and two, fix myself back up. That took time. I don't want you guys to think that happened overnight. No, it took time. But that time that it took happened when I took the time, or I made the time to figure out, am I built to be an entrepreneur? Do I have the characteristics to be that entrepreneur? So you have to ask yourself these things before you just jump into something and be like, oh, I want to start a business. But once you do, once you figure out your passion, you figure out your purpose, and then reevaluate yourself, what's next? The next thing you need to do is remove all fear. Because best believe, once you do the 3 things I said, you're going to be afraid. You're going to have doubt. You may look at how much money you have and how much money you don't. You may look at everyone around you, and that may leave you shaking in your boots. That may make you want to be like, nope, I'll stay stuck. And that phrase stuck isn't fit for, or doesn't apply to just one situation. Whatever your stuck is, that's maybe where you may remain. Whether that be, I may stay stuck working this 9 to 5. I may stay stuck being a stay-at-home mom or dad. I may stay stuck in whatever situation I am in because I am afraid. Once you do those 3 steps, the last thing is removing that fear, kicking it in its face and choosing to move forward. Because yes, entrepreneurship is scary. Entrepreneurship, there is no guarantee. You're not guaranteed to be successful. You're not guaranteed to have a salary every 2 weeks, especially when you first start off. But best believe it will be worth it. Once you make that step, once you push past that fear, it will be worth it. And you want to know why it'll be worth it? It'll be worth it because you're doing what you're passionate about. You're walking in your purpose. I can be transparent. DayaLuv Cosmetics, I started in the middle of a pandemic, May of 2020. The world just shut down. And I had the bright idea to start a business during that time. Has it been easy? No. Has it been worth it? Yes. Because at the end of the day, whether I make thousands or whether I make 0, I'm still walking in my purpose. That's why doing those steps prior to just saying, oh, I want to do a business is so vital and important. Not just for your success, but ultimately it's important because that determines whether or not you are going to sustain. I will say this past year, a lot of entrepreneurs realized that everything is so unpredictable. Everything is so uncertain. Nothing is predictable now, especially the times that we're living in. But that shouldn't keep you from moving forward. That shouldn't keep you from choosing to walk in your purpose. So before I close or wrap up, I'm going to restate the 3 things I want you guys to take away from this. 1, identify your passion. 2, identify your purpose. Your purpose is your why. Why are you doing this? And thirdly, reevaluate yourself. I should throw in number 4, which is remove all doubt, remove all fear. Once you've done all that, guess what? You're ready to take that step. So take that step into entrepreneurship, and I hope you're successful with it. Thank you.
Sondaya, excellent. Love it, love it, love it.
Thank
the 3 lessons, really 4, I guess. Remove all fear.
Yes.
So let's talk about that. I'm a huge practitioner in being very tactical. So let's talk about that last one, that 4th piece.
Yes.
Because I think that's the challenge we have as entrepreneurs, as humans.
Yes.
So what are some things that you do to remove that fear?
For me, one thing that I do to remove fear, I am a Christian, so I pray. Is it easy? No. Because at the end of the day, you still have those thoughts. You still have the what ifs. But besides praying, I also shut out all the extra noise and distractions. And for me, that can be social media. It's super easy to get distracted about what everyone else is doing, how they're doing it. Oh, this person just got this grant, or this person just made $1 million, or this person is taking this trip. If you let all those distractions in, you're going to be filled with so much doubt of whether or not, can I do this? Can I be successful? And then you start second guessing yourself. You have to cut all that out.
So cut out the fear, avoid the distractions.
Yes.
Rely on your faith, right?
Yes.
And whatever that is, right? Because there is that idea that if you think you can and you think you can't, you're right either way.
Yes.
So now that you're in business, now that you're in business in cosmetics, it's something you're passionate about. What now continues to drive you? What continues to motivate you every day when you have those moments of doubt or those moments of anxiety?
For me, what continues to drive me is just why I started. As I mentioned, I touched on it slightly as far as I have a story that I want to share. And that story I'm able to share through cosmetics. I'm able to inspire other women. And, I love being able to work with different organizations that help women, that help just people that have gone through something continue to push forward, because we all need that extra bit of help. And when those moments come when I'm ready to just throw in the towel, I'm ready to be like, you know what? Why am I doing this? I have to remember why I started. I didn't just start for me. I'm not doing this just for me. It's bigger than me. And remembering that, as well as my little baby, he keeps pushing me as well. But just remembering that really helps, because if you don't know why you start something, you're not going to want to keep pushing.
No, I absolutely love it. That's the key. Kind of remember why you started. Go back to those places when you have that doubt, you have that fear, and continue on that path of entrepreneurship. Don't forget where you came from. Yes. I love it. I think you're going to continue to be successful, and I'm enjoying the journey you're on.
I want to say one more thing.
Go ahead.
Write it down.
Yes.
Write it down. Once you write it down, make it plain, it's easy to go back and look at it, because if it's just here, it can get lost. It can get lost in the noise. It can get lost in life. So write it down. Write down your why.
Yeah, and it goes from being, whether it's your why or your goals, it goes from being a dream to why. And also, once you write it down, like, you read in like the 10 Commandments, right? Sort of is written, sort of his word, or whatever it is. Like, once you write it down, it becomes a real tangible thing. You've proclaimed it. Yes. I love it. All right, there you go. So that's the key. Write it down, get over the fear, anxiety. And when you have those moments of doubt, write down your why to remind you of why you're here today and what the purpose is, to be that motivator, to be that driver.
Yes.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
That was an inspiring and motivating presentation from Sondaya here today on the YG stage, powered by Circle Electric. Now, are you or someone you know ready to take the stage here at Serendipity Labs? We want to feature the best speakers around by bringing them here on YG stage. Go over to YoungGunsMovement.com and apply to be a speaker. You might be featured on the next episode. YG Stage is powered by Circle Electric and sponsored by Fleet Farm, Health Payment Systems, and Bell Bank Mortgage. If you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button. Pay attention to all the things we're doing here on YG TV. If you like podcasts, listen to all the episodes wherever you consume podcasts. As always, I'm Andy Weins, the president of Green Up Solutions and your host. Thanks for tuning in.